What's going on, everyone? Times are a little crazy right now. What's going on, everyone? Times are a little crazy right now, to say the least, and experts are saying that the best thing that we can do is to stay home and stay inside whenever possible. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that will help you bring that coffee shop experience into your own home. Let's go. So tip number one is to buy beans from your local coffee shop if you can. This seems a little on the nose, but it's true. If you want to have that local coffee shop taste, definitely order local coffee shop beans. If this isn't something that you can do, I do recommend doing it online if you can do it, but if it's something that you can't do, there is a service that I use called Trade Coffee. It's a subscription service that I signed up for. It gives you a quiz and it determines your flavor profile, your brewing method, and your experience making coffee, and it gives you coffees that you can taste from different shops around the United States. I really like this because you can kind of customize it to go every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, up to a month, and you're spending probably about $15 to $20, so you do get a little bit of a discount, and you get to try new coffees from everywhere, so I definitely recommend it. I've loved using it so far, and I look forward to my delivery every week, so I definitely recommend Trade Coffee. So tip number two is to figure out your brewing method. And what I mean by this is if you're going to be using a drip coffee maker, a French press, some other form of a pour over like a Chemex or a V60, or anything like that, because different beans and different roasts work better with different brewing methods. For example, I really love Chemex. I love the bright, clean, acidic, kind of brighter, zesty flavors that come through with the Chemex. So my best bet for me is to look for coffees that have those flavor profiles. So lighter roasts, very citrusy, very fruit heavy, floral, stuff like that, that'll give me a clean taste. If you're doing like a French press every morning, I recommend doing a darker roast because those beans are going to need to get to know the water a little bit more, so they'll be steeped in the water for about 5 minutes, which is definitely something that helps with darker beans. And if you're doing something in between like a drip coffee, you can pretty much go anywhere you want. You can use a dark roast if you want, you can use a medium to light roast if you want, but just know your brew. Okay, so tip number three is to tweak things as needed. This isn't a hard and fast scientific, well, it is kind of scientific, I guess, but it's not set in stone. You're gonna have to tweak things every day. I adjust my grind settings almost every day, depending on how finicky my grinder is. It's like my favorite professor says,
"Look what I won at the Renaissance Fair."
We're going to quote Ted Mosby on this one. It's Maggie. It's going to be make adjustments, go get it energized. And what I mean by that is different brewing methods require different grind sizes. For example, I'm going to use my Chemex again. I need a medium coarse, medium, like somewhere in between medium coarse and medium of a grind size, because those beans aren't going to be sitting with the coffee as long. If you use a French press, you're going to need a way coarser grind because those grinds are going to be sitting in the coffee for upwards of 5 minutes. If you're going to be making any kind of espresso drink like a latte or a cappuccino or a macchiato, you're going to need a finer grind. So really just, make adjustments as needed and know that things are going to change day to day. It's not that big of a deal. Tip number four is going to be ambiance, however you want to say it if you want to be fancy. If you want to go the extra mile, I definitely recommend turning on some soft music, turning the lights down. You can play like cafe sounds on Spotify. There's like a whole playlist of just like ambient noise that kind of plays in the background. What I like to do is I like to put on some soft music. I don't turn on the TV. And I just pop open a book, and to me that creates the perfect kind of atmosphere to kind of have that coffee shop environment at home. The last tip, probably the most important, I'm going to drill this into your brains with almost every video because this tip kind of applies everywhere. Tip number five is going to be to grind your beans fresh daily. A lot of pre-ground coffees aren't as strong in flavor because they've been grounded up and they've been grinded up and the flavor compounds have already broken down. Once you grind that bean, you only have a certain amount of time before those flavor compounds start to break down. So it's easier if you have fresh beans that are grinded every day right before you make them. For me, I always boil my water first or bring it to near boiling depending on what the brew method is, and I'll grind my beans right after the water is done boiling. Because I don't want to lose any flavor. As soon as you crack those beans, CO2 is released and it causes flavor compounds to break down. So definitely, please, if you're going to take anything away from this video, grind your beans daily if you can. Okay, so that's been my 5 tips for creating a coffee shop environment at home while we're all on lockdown. So share in the comments below what you're doing and your tips to make a coffee shop experience at your own home. And drop down any questions you have in the comments as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I post new videos. Peace out.